Welcome back to the Boxing Shop, ladies and gentlemen. We've been on a hiatus since the end of 2023, but we are back. King Felix G, Ray, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? It's been a bit, but hey, we're here.
Yes, sir. It's a new year.
A new
January.
year, another year, right?
Yeah.
Let's kind of flex on that a bit because we go back. We're probably like what
Yeah.
10 years in the pod game, something like that.
Yeah, way back. Definitely. It's like you said, another year, not a new year. So that's a t-shirt right there, actually.
Yeah.
That's coming soon. I'm gonna write that down, put that on my notepad for things we discussed tonight, which usually
Oh, yes, sir.
a bunch of randomness. We can get right into some randomness. Before we start talking about boxing, we could talk about bare knuckle boxing. Forgot we were talking about topics. That's one right there. Did you catch the Austin Trout fight?
I did, man. That was one of the ones that I felt like was an event. Like it had me actually anticipating it, right? Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a bare knuckle card, which, I like their cards. Like you're gonna get a lot of knockouts. You're gonna get that. But this one was like, man, it's Austin Trout. And obviously, because we come from the boxing background, you want to see like how these guys translate. Paulie Malignaggi really let the boxing world down when he went. But like Austin Trout, man, come on, he beat Miguel Cotto. He fought Canelo. This was one I wanted to see, and I was tuned in.
Yeah, and he went in and handled business, man. When he dropped dude with the punch, the only knockdown that he had, that was beautiful. He knew the dude was gonna drop. He swung around him, let him fall.
Bro, he swung around him, hit him again, and still just moved. I saw people saying, "Oh, he threw him. It's like, no, watch that back.
Yeah,
it's just footwork and like precise punching. And honestly, it's like what I would expect if you've seen a trained boxer fight in a street fight against someone who's tough, right? Like Palomino, he was like not take anything away from them. I think he's had two division champ in bare knuckle. Tough guy. And like Austin Trout, I saw him afterwards and he said, I'm ready to go again. Like I have no injuries. Like to do that to a trained fighter like that, it just kind of shows the level of what we would expect, right? A boxer against a non-boxer but fighter.
Yeah, exactly. And the most impressive thing to me is that, when they created gloved boxing, they said, fighters would be able to punch more, throw more jabs, throw more, straights, hooks, whatever. Not everything's a power shot. And so they're going to throw a lot of those shots. When they're bare knuckle, they're not going to throw as many punches. So you're not going to see that type of boxing performance that you would in a bare knuckle ring. But Austin Trout still somehow did his thing. He was boxing beautifully in there, did his thing, and brawled when he needed to. But he controlled that with just his skills alone.
Yeah, like bro, he wasn't getting hit, right? Like I've noticed that in like boxers that have done it. It's kind of, I guess, mainly Paulie, right? Like, the defense is not there, right? Because you can't just put your hands up because the knuckles are the bare fist is going to get through. But like Austin Trout fought an Austin Trout fight, right? And that's just footwork, right? That's just being a slick southpaw, I think, just footwork. And it was cool to watch, man. And I would think he has to be one of their biggest stars at this point. And it's cool for him to see like transition from, because he had his run in boxing. Of course, that Miguel Cotto win parlayed that into a Canelo fight. But instead of seeing at a point where he would just probably be a journeyman or something, he's able to go to a whole new sport and become a champion there. And he's probably going to dominate for a while.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's the thing too. Could you picture Austin Trout even being in the top 10 in boxing right now? No, but look at, his skills and where he has it in his career. He's still able to go over there and be the top dog. And I think he's going to dominate for a while.
And a name, like I said, it was someone like that I was anticipating. Like, let's put him in boxing right now, right? Let's say he's 154 pounds. There's a lot of people there. Let's throw our, if it was Austin Trout versus Erickson Lubin, I'd be like, bro, I don't really want to watch that. Like Erickson, like Lubin's gonna beat him, Fundora is gonna beat him, like Tim Zoo's gonna beat him, and
Right.
He's older. Not take anything away from Austin Trout, he's would be on the backside of his career in boxing, just kind of being a name for other people to beat. But over here in this whole other sport, bro, he's like the top dog. And it's not like any of those guys that I just named can go over there because, bro, bare knuckles different. Like those guys get cut, their hands, I'm sure. There's something up here that you got to be ready for that. And Austin Trout, he's doing that.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's a whole different ball game in there. Like you said, you've got to have a different mentality going in. And talking about fighters that would transition well over there, I think Regis Prograis would do well in bare knuckle, and because he's expressed interest in becoming an MMA fighter when he's done with boxing. I think bare knuckle would be a smooth little transition for him too.
That's why I like bare knuckle, man. It kind of gives a different lane, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have these boxers don't have to just, and not that they aren't successful in boxing, but like it used to be like, oh, boxing, and then you'd hear boxers like, oh, I'll fight them in MMA. You're like, I mean, that's a lot, but like bare knuckle is its own sport. And I feel like it doesn't just carry over. Like if you're a good boxer, it doesn't just mean you're going to be good at bare knuckle.
Right.
Paulie Malignaggi, right? It doesn't just mean like, oh, they're going to beat everybody. So, and also, bro, if it was easy, all these old boxers would be doing it.
Right. Exactly.
So, I think it just takes a different mentality. You gotta be ready to like basically risk it all, man. Like you get punched with a jab and you're gonna cut up. Your hand might break. But
Straight up, yeah.
I do feel that BKFC is. I hope they stay around. Like we've seen these kind of other organizations come, but BKFC really seems to be moving along. I think they're gonna have a fight in California now, so more commissions are licensing it. So yeah, man, shout out to Austin Trout though.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely shout out to Austin Trout. That was great. And it was entertaining. And like you said, it was an event. And that was actually the first time I watched a sporting event live on Amazon Prime. Is that where you watched it too?
That's where I watched it. Yeah. You gave me the heads up on that. So they might need to work their marketing a little bit because I wanted to see it, but I wasn't even sure where. It was on a Friday night, I believe. And then you're like, hey, this is on Amazon. And I was like, yo, let's go. But there's fights for him there too, man. A lot of those UFC MMA guys are going over to bare knuckle. Mike Perry, I think Mike Perry is a huge name in the sport. He's kind of made for it, really, if you follow him. So like him and Austin Trout, bro, they're gonna be able to start making these events. Like I said, like that you want to see.
No, definitely, and it's. With Amazon, like you said, they do got to do a little better marketing because I didn't know. I was just me and Dakota were actually browsing because the way I ran into it is because I was trying to find the price for the upcoming, which we're going to get into in a little bit, the upcoming PBC pay-per-view. I wanted to see the price for that. So I went to the Amazon section, went to sports, and then boom, there it is, showed up as live right now. I was like, wow, I would have had no idea that this was streaming live. No emails, no ads, nothing like that. So hopefully they get a little better at that, but what they offered so far, that was impressive,
bro. And everything was knockouts, right? Like that's like if you're a casual fight fan, so I'm not saying like boxing fan, or even if you're just a casual fight fan, you're scrolling through Instagram and you watch that street fight, you watch that, it's like
right,
people are gonna tune into that. It gives you that, man. Like I think every fight was about a knockout. I don't think, besides the Trout went to decision, but there was even a still big knockdown in that.
Right. And even with it going to a decision, it was still an entertaining fight.
Yeah, it was. And because, we talk about heavyweights, one punch can change anything. Bro, bare knuckle is exactly that because it doesn't even necessarily need to be hard. If it's you land, you might cut the guy.
Right. Right.
So.
Yeah, and there were some fun scraps. Some of it could get wild, but it's entertaining, man. And like we said like I said in the chat, it's chaotic, but it's entertaining, and I love it. That's what
Bro,
we're
and
here
the
for.
pace is quick.
Yeah,
Like, bro, it was fight after fight after fight, which, you know, boxing and even MMA to a certain extent, you get a fight and then they try to fill in all that time that the fight didn't take place, and you see kind of, you know, the video playing. I felt like BKFC just kind of had it. Fight, boom, ended early. All right, next guy's up. Let's go. And I appreciated that as like a viewer.
right. No, without a doubt. And speaking of pacing of a card, I'm gonna rewind a little bit to last week. Pro Box TV, Trevor McCumbee making his return. Before we get into that fight, the card itself, you want to talk about pacing, was dope too. I don't know if you were able to catch the whole card or not.
Well, before we get into other boxing, I'm gonna end this BKFC with name a boxer that you would have liked to see fight in BKFC, current or past.
Oh man, the first guy that comes to my mind is Ricardo Mayorga.
Bro, same. I think he's my answer, my boxing answer for everything. But yeah, right.
Because you had a guy who was he's got that Roberto Duran attitude. He's not afraid of anything. He's gonna fight. He's gonna talk trash, and he's entertaining, man. And he's gonna give you that crazy style. He's in there to kill or be killed. Mayorga is one of the most entertaining boxers of all time, and for BKFC, Mayorga would have been perfect for that.
Mayorga probably would have taken that company, skyrocketed that, bro. Like,
right?
Just imagine him talking and fighting whoever.
Man,
like, yeah.
I'm gonna throw another guy's name in there too, because he was actually working with somebody to make something happen. He was actually working with Kimbo Slice to make something like that happen, not against each other, but my boy Randall Bailey,
not KO King, right?
Yeah, man, bare knuckle. Him and bare knuckle would have been brutal, bro. That would have been brutal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I think like at least I haven't thought about it, but just names popping in my head, like James Kirkland. You know, just dudes that you just know they're gonna be there, right? And because man, we said it's a lot of. I think it plays a part into it, like the intimidation, you're not gonna back me up, like,
right?
You know, you see, and it isn't really talked about, maybe because it's understandable. But even this past fight, like, dudes quit, like they'll be on the ground and they could get up, and they're like, nah. And I kind of like don't blame them, like, bro, that's you're taking your cut, And so, like, when you have guys like a Kirkland that you just know is going to be on you,
right?
He comes to mind. Obviously, Mayorga. I mean, there's quite a few. You see Mike Tyson, like, bro. You see Mike Tyson across from you, bare knuckle. Like, come on,
forget it. I'm running.
Yeah.
There's definitely some dudes. Curtis Stevens is another one. I mean, he was a banger, bro. Him and Jadon Codrington. From back in the day, they had their little crew, the Chin Checkers. I mean,
Checkers with Dame Dash. Yeah.
They didn't really fulfill their potential in boxing, but BKFC they would have killed it, man. Shit. You know, thinking about Jadon Codrington, for some reason, the comparison to Chris Colbert comes to mind. I don't know why I want to compare the two.
They're not both Brooklyn? Are they both from Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think they are, of course, because that's where the whole chin checker thing was from. But those guys would have been good for it. There's a hell of a lot of guys. I'm curious now if anybody from that's current right now is going to see Austin Trout and want to head on over there and try to take some of his glory.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool to see, man. Like I said, part of boxing, it is probably the worst part, is like seeing guys who were the guy, but now you just have to see him take loss at the loss. And that's kind of their role in the sport now, you know, like, dang, okay, they got another fight, but you know, they're just there because their name and they're getting beat up. You know, if they could like transition into this other sport and be dominant, like, I guess that's the plan.
Yeah, we'll see if anything comes about it or comes of it. I'm sure with Austin Trout winning and being the champion there, I'm pretty sure we're going to see something. I'm going to put that on the dog watch. Shout out to Jack Kelly, but that's
Yeah.
my
And
dog
I
watch.
and I another thing, bro, I don't know what they're getting paid. So
Yeah, true.
but if it keeps, you got an Amazon deal, if it keeps getting bigger and bigger, obviously those purses can only go up and up, and that's going to draw some more people. We've seen it with the UFC and BKFC. I know they've had Alvarez. I think they've had like Curtis Stevens, guys who were contenders in the UFC, Mike Perry, and they kind of find in that lane, and it'll be interesting to see, as Austin Trout has done, he just beat maybe arguably their best fighter ever, 2-division champ, whatever. If some boxers kind of take that risk, and I don't think it's for the boxers in their prime. Like I'm not saying I want to see guys go over there. I'm saying like guys, instead of getting beat up as a journeyman, hey, let's go over here and you're gonna be a top dog.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's interesting that you said that too, is because there's a guy on the undercard. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head right now.
Bryce, dude, right? Bryce something. Did he fight in the co-main?
No, it was on the opening card. It was a local cat, a guy from Phoenix, young dude. I'm not familiar with him, but I was actually surprised to see somebody that young, because he looked like a 20, 21-year-old, 19-year-old, something like that. And that's kind of unusual. Like you said, this is kind of a sport where I feel like you do gotta kind of like be a little bit distinguished in it a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't feel like the young guys are gonna do too well in here.
Yeah, I'm not leaping off. Like that's not my first choice, right? Like props to them to be able to do it, but like, yo. But there was someone in the co-main, I think he had, I want to say like a 6-0 record. He's out of Miami. He had a 6-0 record as a boxer, another young guy. And he was like 3-0 in BKFC. And he was also just levels above who he fought. And he fought an ex-UFC guy, Peralta maybe? I don't know. But I wanted to go back and kind of check on him because like, bro, if you're undefeated in boxing, like there's that route you can still go too,
Yeah. No, without a doubt. I'm gonna look up that guy's name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Henry Peralta.
So that's who I think who he beat.
Yeah, well, Peralta is the guy. Let me see. Henry is
Peralta
his last
was
name.
the ex-UFC guy.
I don't know what his first name is. The Henry guy. Bryce. Yeah, Bryce Henry.
Okay, Bryce Henry.
Yeah. And then
bro, he looked like he didn't get touched either, and could jab, could kind of do everything that you'd expect a boxer to do.
Actually,
kind of.
I remember that. Didn't he have like a real like cocky like celebration after his win?
Oh yeah. He was kind of not showboating, but kind of, bro.
Yeah,
like he was doing whatever he wanted in that.
Yeah, as well deserved, as needed after you celebrate a knockout like that. But yo, it was for y'all that are tuning in, man. BKFC, that's what we're talking about, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. We're very entertained last weekend with Austin Trout fought. That entire card was good, fun, entertaining, action-packed fights. Their next show is coming up on February 16th.
And I'll say this: I feel like it's a sport where you don't need to know people's names,
right?
Like it's cool, like Austin Trout, that'll bring you in, but it's almost like, and I think the UFC is changing, but it's almost like how the UFC used to be, where like, man, you just tune in to watch good fights.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Right, like you don't even need to know the people, and I feel like UFC is kind of changing, which is kind of taken away from it. And boxing has changed, like really, like you watch the main event, co-main, hardcore fighters watch it all. But I'm just talking about like when I'm casual. But BKFC, I feel, is like a sport where shoot, you show up and you could watch whoever.
Right. It reminds me of you seen that movie No Holds Barred? I think we might have talked about that before.
Old one? Is that
Yeah,
Hogan?
yeah. It's an old one. You had all these tough ass
Yeah, I don't
like
remember
different
it, but yeah.
blue collar jobs. Yeah. That's what this feels like watching this. Yo, and then the next show is February 16th. It's probably going to be on Amazon again, 7 p.m. There's actually 2 girls that are going to be fighting on there too. I never have seen 2 girl bare knuckle fighters, but so I don't know if this is the first time or not.
Yeah, no, the girls. They've actually had Paige Van Zant, who was man, she was UFC. She was Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
She came. There's been a few UFC women to go toward BKFC. So
That's wild. That's going to be entertaining. I'll be tuned in. They got me locked in after this last card. So, whatever investment they made in Austin Trout, shout out to them because it was worth it because they've turned me into a fan basically at the same time.
Yeah, I think I want to say April. Maybe I'm off, but I know they have a Knuckle Mania, and they kind of try to throw their biggest fights on there. I remember last year. I remember I watched, bro. I can't even remember who it was, but that goes to it, bro. It's just a good event, But they kind of try to throw their big names on there.
Okay, yeah, I see there are other ones that are scheduled. There's 2 in March, or 3 in March actually. March 2nd, March 22nd, March 29th, and then April 6th. So they're scheduled cards right now. But we'll be stay tuned to the Boxing Shop every week and just our platform in general. We'll be covering them, making sure we give them some shine. Well deserved for sure. They're putting on a good product and it's different. They're not competing against Top Rank. They're not competing against PBC. They're not competing against UFC. They're giving us something completely different, and I fuck with it, man.
Bro, and like this past one on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I watch? Like, they're not going up against the fighters I want to watch. Like, they threw it on a Friday night. Like, hey, nothing else going on.
And it was late too. I was able to actually watch all of SmackDown and then threw on BK FC after to watch the co-main and the main event. So like I like the late.
I want to talk wrestling. You want to do that later? We do that later.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you off. We're gonna have that conversation. And I do want to go back to I kind of cut you off and we kept going with BKFC. But man, let's talk Macumbi, man.
Yeah, real quick, that card. I'm gonna shout out to ProBox because if you guys have watched boxing before, the main event. Like you tune into boxing to see knockouts. That's what everybody wants to see. There's people like Jack Kelly and Dakota who are gonna sit there and salivate over somebody who's potentially gonna put on. Yeah, and Lukey too. Yeah. The 3 of them will salivate over somebody putting on a 12-round performance. Like they're looking forward to that. Outside of those 3, everybody wants to see knockouts. So with that being said, the ProBox card was stacking up knockout after knockout. And I'm like, all right, cool. I might have time to run to the store real quick. And next thing I know, Trevor Macumbi and Christopher Pearson were already in the ring. They just kept that show moving, and that's how I feel like it should happen. It should be like that. If you ever attended a show live in person, it gets drawn out like crazy when they're just knockout after knockout. Definitely not the funnest thing to be at live, but anyway, that card. Trevor Macumbi, man, he did his thing, bro. And I was trying to think of who stood out on the card. I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head, so I'm not going to shout anybody out. But yeah, he did his thing. Trev, he went in there, handled business. He was intense, man. He kept that intensity up. Majority of the fight, of course, action slowed down, like kind of in the end, but he still kept up a feverish pace. And man, he's in tip-top shape. And I think that performance showed how good of a shape he is in right now in his career too.
Yeah, I think I told you guys, speaking of Macumbi's opponent, like, hey, that's how you get CTE.
Yeah,
like Macumbi was landing everything he wanted on him.
Right.
Powerful. You could see the power. I was surprised that it went 12, and I mean, this isn't. I'm not criticizing, but well, maybe I am. I don't know. But I felt like if McCombie would have maybe like switched it up more, like jab, 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 then go, I think he would have got him out. But we saw, not that I'm mad at it, we saw McCombie just loading up with everything, every single punch.
Right.
And not that it was a bad thing because they were all landing. But yeah, he had his way with them, man. He looked impressive. And his record, shoot, what is it? What are we at now?
28-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28-0, 21 knockouts, great record. And yeah, he was able to load up and put on a performance for us. I mean, and for what it's worth, shout out to Chris Pearson, because man, those are some shots, bro. And a majority of guys wouldn't have taken those.
And McCombie, I did see him, I felt like got hit clean once. And I was like, oh shoot. Granted, he got it together right back, which is another impressive thing, right? Like we want to see things about McCombie, like, oh, he could take a punch too. So with that record, I'm expecting he gets a big fight. I feel like I feel like it's in his hands, and just when does he want to, punch that ticket? But I think it's coming, bro. I think he's gonna get a big fight or get a big opportunity.
Oh, without a doubt, I can see it happening some point this year. They were mentioning, commentators were mentioning the name, and that's one fight I personally really want to see. And he shouted him out, called him out before, Edgar Berlanga. I really want to see him get that fight. And then, Dakota brought up a good opponent, Jason Quigley. That would be a decent little scrap for him too. But there's some names, and so hopefully he gets that, the big name, that big fight, and hopefully some form of a championship. As I feel he's ready and he's dedicated, man. Hella dedicated. Not too many guys will come back after a layoff and look as in shape as he does and still go down a division and perform like that too. Dudes who go down a division don't perform that well, and that's been evident in a lot of guys.
That's throughout the sport. Like when someone comes back or someone takes losses, they're going up in weight, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're at a higher weight now. They're at a higher weight now. It's easy. It's easier to make. So for him, like, to be where he's at, yeah, I definitely see the big opportunity coming, and you just know he's going to be ready for it, right? Like, I'm sure he's been thinking of this for years,
right?
And yeah, it's going to be coming, and you should probably follow ITR because I'm sure Felix is going to have the ends of when that's coming and be able to document it. Oh
yeah, without a doubt, I'll definitely be. And I still got to link up because, as you mentioned it, that's one thing I wanted to talk to Trevor about. He's, from what I've seen, he's on vacation. I'm not going to bother him right now. He's in Disneyland, the happiest place in the freaking world, and I'm jealous as a Disneyland guy myself. But when he gets back, I'm gonna hit him up because I was curious about that punch too. It looked like well, either way, it landed completely clean on him. Whether it hurt him or not, that's the question I want to know, because he stepped on a part of the canvas when he got hit that was known to be slippery, more or less, a little like the painted part of the canvas, you could say. So I'm curious if it was a mix of him getting hit at the right time where he stepped and him losing his footing, or if he actually did get hurt. And if he did get hurt, like you said, that's impressive because that was a very, very quick turnaround.
Oh, even if he didn't get hurt, just to take a flush punch like that
and stay on balance, yeah,
you still do. And I think at that point, like, I think it was evident early that Trevor McCombie was going to win the fight.
Oh yeah,
and I guess that's what's kind of impressive about Pearson, that he was able to take that damage, because McCombie looked like he had no worries at all. He's throwing everything.
Right.
And that's probably why he got caught. But yeah, it didn't really affect him. Like it was a flush punch, and the next round looked just like the previous round. So yeah, shout out to him.
And then they both had to deal with adversity with that cut too from that clash of heads there, which was pretty nasty. But yeah, again, shout out to both of them. Pearson is a tough ass dude, man, and Trevor, we'll be seeing him soon, and we'll be within the next few weeks, few episodes. He'll be on the shop, I'm sure of it. So You guys tuning in, make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. Also, Angelo Leo, did you catch that fight, the main event?
I didn't, bro.
Man, so crazy ending. Angelo Leo ended like a hellacious body shot. Just a vicious body shot on Mike Plania, I think his name is. Everybody could tell it landed. It was a perfectly good shot, but the referee, I will say, he was on the other side of it. He ruled it a low blow immediately. So Mike is on the ground, literally holding his side, just in pain. Everybody knows it's a knockdown, and he's calling it a low blow, basically giving him the long count and all that. Eventually, the corner just steps up and stop it because he was not trying to get up, and the referee was not picking up. Yeah, the corner did, because dude was already down for at least a minute or so, and the referee kept trying to sell it as a low blow. He was basically going to make him stay there for 5 minutes and get knocked out twice, is what he was intending on doing, I guess. But yeah, they stopped it, saved him, because he was in pain the entire time. I don't even think he knew what was going on.
So he was literally saved. The record, this didn't happen type thing.
No, almost didn't. Not Angelo Leo, the opponent, is the one who got stopped.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, his record, this knockout didn't happen. It's going to be no contest.
No, it happened. It happened. The corner stopped it, so it still got ruled a knockout.
Oh,
but the referee was calling it a low blow.
Bro, that's crazy. So they stopped it while the dude was hurting?
Yeah, because the referee. You're gonna have to watch it to kind of see it. So the referee was standing over him, like, it was no knockdown, low blow, and the dude is just on the ground in pain, just wincing. You can tell how much pain he's in. Yeah, he's getting his 5 minutes, but he's in so much pain and agony. You can see him hitting the ground. I don't think he even pays attention to what the referee's doing. The ref's clueless. The commentators are like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Finally, they stopped the fight. They throw in a towel or whatever they did to, get the fight stopped. Otherwise, the referee was going to send him back in there and get slaughtered. Crazy. One of the craziest things I've seen.
Yeah, I got to watch that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll find that.
Leo, he's, I know the name, so he used to be a Floyd or something, right? Was he?
No, I'm not sure. I know the only loss he has was against Stephen Fulton. He had a WBO title, lost it to Fulton, and he's been on a slow burn back up. But I think he's ready for one of these top guys again. I wouldn't mind him seeing him fight Figueroa. They've both got some entertaining.
Why are you trying to get someone get killed? Come on, man.
That would be a war right there, man. I know Figueroa has been moving up. Actually, what weight is Leo fighting at now?
I don't know, but I just look. Leo was with Mayweather Promotions at one point, so.
Okay, yeah, and he's right there with Figueroa now at featherweight. So, bro, that would be a nice fight right there. I wouldn't mind seeing them two go at it. But I'm excited, man. I'm locked in with Angelo Leo. He's a good fighter, without a doubt, and a lot of power and precision behind his punches. Two reasons why you got to see that clip. For one, you got to see the craziness that ensued with that knockdown. But the knockdown itself, that was such a beautiful textbook version of what a perfect body punch should look like. Power and speed, and where it landed and everything. It was great. And also, again, shout out to ProBox. That was a great telecast. It wasn't what you would expect from Showtime and HBO, but I don't think they were trying to market themselves like that either. And yet they did better than DAZN. I'll say that. There was one moment in the McCumbee fight where all the lights went out in the arena and the Undertaker came out, but that was I think that was the only little mishap that they had all night.
Yeah, you gotta ask McCumbee about that. Like,
yeah,
when the lights go out, bro. Like, do you think you got knocked out? Like, you're in a fight, you're like, bro, did I just get knocked out?
Yeah, that's got to be some craziness. That the only time that's ever happened that I know of was not even in a real life thing, but in Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
It's the only time I pictured that, because I was wondering.
In the Lennox Lewis Klitschko fight, right?
Yeah. I was wondering what would happen if that happened in the real sport, and thankfully these guys just backed up, walked backwards. So the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, you got to ask him about that.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Now the next, what other cards did we miss in January that we didn't really talk about?
Munguia fought.
Oh yeah, Munguia and Ryder. I wasn't. Shame on me. That was just in Phoenix, and I didn't go to that for a very good reason. It was a Royal Rumble. I wasn't missing a Royal Rumble.
It was.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that fight.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Munguia fan, but I guess what he did was impressive, right? Like he stopped John Ryder, knocked him down multiple times. But like John Ryder was in there for you to do that to him, right? Because like your whole thing is you're campaigning to get this Canelo fight, so you take someone that Canelo couldn't stop and you try to stop him after Canelo already fought him. So I can't be mad at it. He looked impressive against him. Does that make me want to see him against Canelo? Not really, but Munguia did look impressive, so that was that.
Well, and then I see the chatter after the fact is that he beat Ryder more impressively than Canelo did, which of course that's not a way to judge who's a better boxer or whatever ever. But with that being said, what is your take on that? Because people will always compare.
Yeah, and that's what it is, right? That's what boxing is. But come on now, Jaime Munguia, if Canelo hits you with the stuff that you were getting hit with by Ryder, like Canelo's stopping you. So
Yeah.
that's just what I think. Like he got hit way too clean. Like there was at points that Ryder was walking him back because I think he was hurt. And if you're gonna if Ryder's hurting you and able to tee off on you, Canelo's gonna put you out. But if that's the fight that happens, I'd watch it. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's getting down to the nitty gritty. We're gonna need an opponent announcement pretty soon.
We're February. That May date is there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be Munguia. I never thought it was gonna be Munguia, but
I know who it's not gonna be.
Who?
David Benavidez.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know, man. I mean, I always have hope. I did see a picture today of David Benavidez in a gym. So, like when those pics start coming out, you're like, oh, okay. Like, I don't feel like these guys are just in the gym just to be in the gym. Obviously, some are.
Yeah.
But I feel like Benavidez is that guy that if I'm in the gym, it's because I have a fight coming up. So,
yeah, true.
In my mind, as the boxing fan and I guess hopeful, I'm like, oh, shoot, David Benavidez is in the gym. Maybe that is for that May date. Probably not, but yeah. He was in the gym in a picture, so we'll see.
That's your late breaking news, guys.
Yeah.
David Benavidez spotted in the gym. Canelo fight is happening for me.
Yeah, a boxer was in the boxing gym. No, but you know what I'm saying, bro. Like we've had what was it? I think before Ryo was announced that he was fighting Colbert for the second time. Yeah, there started being pictures of him in a gym. He was sparring Mikey Garcia.
Yeah.
You just know a fight. Okay, he's in the gym and a fight's coming up. So that's all.
Because it's not even just the fact that they're in the gym; it's the fact that they're sharing it too.
Yeah.
They want everybody to know. Yeah, I'm in training now, type of deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, I feel you on that.
But you're right, though. I mean, chances are we're not going to see Canelo Benavidez. But even if they put him on the same card, bro, that'd be dope.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like same card with a September fight would probably be the best thing to do because you're taking advantage of both Mexican weekends and both shows are going to have both guys on it. And only one time they got to fight. So I think that's the best way to go about it.
And I'm just saying, like, if you're in the gym right now, that's about the time you get it in the gym for a May fight. So,
yeah, definitely time to start shaking off the holiday rust, because a lot of those guys that fought right before Thanksgiving, they took the entire month and a half or so. They basically did what we did on the boxing shop. We took the entire month of January off. And they enjoyed themselves for sure. A lot of these guys had not a rough year, but a good lengthy year. They spent a few months in camp. David Benavidez, for one, he had 2 big fights. So of course these guys are going to take some time off, enjoy, and yeah, now's the time, especially for the mile.
If I'm David Benavidez and how much he's pushing for that fight, and even fighting Boo Boo Andre, if they were to offer him a May day, like, hey, you can fight in May on the Canelo card, I think he's at that point where he's doing everything to push for that fight.
Oh yeah.
So if that means, hey, you're on the co-main, I think he'd do it. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but like I said, I just think now that he's training, it kind of lines up. Even if it's a week before or a week after, if they're on the same schedule, to me, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Once you see that on the same card, you pretty much can see the writing on the wall for a future showdown for those guys.
Yeah.
That's historically, it's how it always goes with boxing, especially because they like to keep them in line with fight dates. And, what better way if they're fighting on the same night?
Right. And especially some guys might be like, oh, I'm not fighting on the undercard, right? Like that ego comes in. I'm not fighting on the undercard. I think David Benavidez has already acknowledged, yeah, I'm the B side. I have no problem with that, right? Like,
right.
Canelo's the king, whatever. So, if he was to get that opportunity to fight on a co-main, like, bro, like sign me up for that card, right? Like David Benavidez is probably headlined the last 2 best pay-per-views, maybe.
Yep.
So, yeah, but we'll see. I just know he's in the gym, so I'm anticipating an announcement soon.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Fingers crossed we get the fight that everybody wants. Looking forward to this weekend. Well, also last weekend, we're not going to spend much time on it, but Conor Benn picked up a 12-round decision over Peter Dobson. I don't think we need to spend much more time than that, unless you got anything to add.
No, he looked like just another guy. Like, I wasn't impressed. He went a decision. It's crazy when you're knocking everybody out, then you get popped for steroids, and then you're not knocking this dude out.
Right.
Like, so I think he's got a lot to overcome with that. What was weak to me was that Gervonta's calling him out. Or, no, I don't mean to be disrespectful. What is it? Abdul Wahid?
Yeah,
Tank.
Abdul. Yeah.
So Tank's calling him out. It's like, what? Like a few weeks ago, I think there was a report that, Tank's next fight's going to be in Europe. And all this stuff's coming out. And me, I was like, well, who could he fight, right? Like, why would that even be? Why would he do that? But then as soon as the Conor Benn fight's over, Tank's, I knock you out. That looks so weak to me. Like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't mind it. I mean,
I wouldn't mind it, but come on, man. There's all of these guys at 140. You've just been on record of saying Devin Haney's too big for you. Pause. But now you're gonna fight a guy at 147,
right? And that's my thing too. Is the energy isn't? You got to keep the energy the same. So with that too, I'm like, what is it, Tank? Like, is Devin Haney too big, or you just want to weight drain him? It's evident what's happening with that. But again, Conor Benn does have the record. He does have the name, and I feel like that's the exact opponent that would continue to line Tank's record if he doesn't take a big fight against another elite guy.
But it's like, why? Like, I get boxing's a business, but I don't know, man. I feel like Tank had the potential to be an all-time great, and he's just getting older and older, and those fights aren't happening, right? at one point, it was probably a few years ago, a couple of years, I don't know, there were the four kings, right? Ryan Garcia, Teofimo, who's going to fight, Tank, and probably Devin Haney, right? And it's like, why has only one of these fights happened?
Right.
And it just looks weak to me. I always think it's weak. I always go back to when, people say Floyd beat Canelo, right? Which he did. But there was let's not forget, there was a catch weight at that.
Yep.
152. Prior to that, Floyd fought Oscar at 154. So you could fight Oscar at 154, but you can't fight Canelo at 154.
Right.
And people forget about that. And to me, that just looks weak. Like you're just stating yourself, like, no, I want every advantage against this guy because I can't beat him at that weight. And that's kind of, to me, what Tank's doing. Like, oh, I'll fight Mario Barrios at 140. I'll fight, Conor Benn at 147. But there's guys that can make the weight that you're at that you won't fight because they're too big. That is weak.
It does. And especially with Tank, I don't know what other issues he's got going on if he's still not able to get in the ring. I know the last I actually checked in is that he still wasn't able to hold training camp where he wanted to. But that doesn't mean he can't train. I mean, you can train anywhere as long as you have the facility. I don't know why I don't know why his excuse was that he couldn't train the way he wanted to, I guess, which was, weird to me, but whatever. But he had such momentum last year, having fought twice. By the time May had even hit, he could have still squeezed in one or two more fights had there not been any issues there. You know what I mean? But
come on, like
I feel like he dropped the ball last year.
Who before this week was talking about, oh, I really want to see Conor Benn Tank? Nobody. Like, I don't get what that is. Like, is that like, oh, you're gonna make your brand bigger by fighting in the UK? I mean, can Conor Benn even fight over there? I don't know, because but it's just like, I get it's a business. But at the same time, I do want to see some like competitiveness. Like, no, I'm the best of this. I'm the best, and I don't think that's there from Tank. I don't think he has any desire to be looked at as the best.
Yeah, I'm with that. I feel like he's reached a point in his career where he feels he doesn't need to prove that anymore either. Sadly, because I don't think we ever got that career-defining fight out of him either. No. Which is also sad.
And he'd probably argue like, oh, I don't need to fight them. Man, maybe you don't. Like, maybe you're good financially for the rest of your life. But isn't there that, man, I want to be the best. I want to fight. We were talking about four kings. Well, who's the one king, right? I see Teofimo, who's going to fight. Teofimo's like, no, I want to fight Crawford at 147. Yeah, I want to fight Devin Haney. He, I think, Teofimo said he reached out to like whoever owns Madison Square Garden to get him and Haney. Like, you see one guy actively trying to make these fights happen, and then another guy, I'll fight Conor Benn. Like, what?
Right. It's mind blowing. It definitely is, and I've been on Abdul Wahid's side for the longest time, but it's getting harder and harder to defend him, man.
Same. I was like, I think Tank, and I still think Tank could probably knock anybody out, but it's like, bro, where's that like self-belief in yourself? Or is it just literally like all about the biggest fights? But I don't even think it's the biggest fights, because him and Conor Benn, who wants to see that?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll do numbers in the UK, but I mean, almost anything.
Even like he if it's all about money, when just recently with everything going on in Saudi, the boxing there, Tank said he was mad with the guys in Saudi that they better send him 2 Ferraris to his doorstep if they want to talk to him. And then the prince or whatever said, I'll send him 2 gloves if he wants, like, come on, Tank. Like, bro, these dudes are trying to fight. There's guys that want to fight. And if it's all about money, cool. But, like, just say that then.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they are more or less with their actions saying that. And
Yeah.
then the trash talk isn't even trash talk anymore. It's not entertaining trash talk anymore. It's basically, oh, I'm the A side, and here's why. I'll, when I'm ready, I'll send you the contract. You don't send me a contract, and the trash talk itself has gotten so watered down that that's not even entertaining from their camps anymore either, because their substance is just it's about the money, about the views. Which, if we're being honest, the views ain't that damn good.
No.
Like they're up there, but they ain't that damn good.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't know.
especially from Tank's side, like everybody's wanting
Right.
these fights. Devin Haney has said he'll fight you. Everybody's saying they'll fight you, and you're the one. Nah. And then all of a sudden, Conor Benn fights at what, like 3 o'clock during the day. But Tank, that's the fight you saw. That's the fight you want to comment on.
Right.
Come on.
It's
I'm a Tank fan, but it's just getting harder and harder. Like, you're over 30, you don't seem to want to fight anybody. It's like, what do you want?
it's boxing, bro. That's
Yeah.
boxing.
And it's like, or to me, I think he has a good chance against everybody,
Yeah.
but he just doesn't want that, I guess.
Nah. Who knows what it is? I think maybe there's a mix of, I'm just gonna fight. I would just fight who you guys tell me to fight. You guys handle that. And maybe it's because it's in their hands. Because at the end of the day, I don't think Tank is afraid to fight anybody. But with that being said, are they going to protect their investment the best way, or give the fans what they want? And I feel like that's probably another part that has to do with it too.
So yeah, if that's not his call, okay. But we've seen guys who it's not their call, but they still push for it. Ryan Garcia, right?
Yeah.
Like that wasn't right. That wasn't Ryan Garcia's promoter's call to make the fight against him and Tank, But he's the one pushing for it. I've never seen Tank push for a fight. I don't think.
Yeah, no, me either. No, not one single fight. I've actually never even heard him call anybody out, to be honest, now that I think about that. I'm sure he has, but one of these days we'll see that. We'll see the best of Tank. Hopefully it's this year.
I guess that'll lead into this. And this is why I kind of hold this guy so high, is Teofimo Lopez.
Yes, we got it this weekend.
He's fighting this weekend against an undefeated guy,
Oh, this week we should say, not this weekend.
Yeah, this week is Thursday, I believe. Jermaine Ortiz, I'm sure there's people picking Jermaine Ortiz to beat Teofimo, but Teofimo just seems to want to fight the best people out there, right? He fought Lomachenko, right? He fought Sandor Martin, who's not an easy fight for anybody. You don't just see everybody trying to fight Sandor. Teofimo's calling out Bud Crawford. So I feel like Teofimo is basically the opposite of Tank Davis.
Right. I agree. And he, again, like you said, he's going after those fights. He's chasing the legacy. He's fighting the best guys, and he's not afraid either. And he is in control of his career, it seems like. Whereas Tank, you kind of you get the feeling that, of course, he's not in control of his career, and I don't think he really wants the control. Teofimo does, and he's campaigning for a hell of a legacy.
It's almost like I don't think Tank wants to be in. I feel like he likes that, safe space of being able to, like, oh, I didn't make this. I can't, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like Tank Teofimo, why is that not happening? And I could tell you right now, I think Teofimo would take that fight. I don't know if Tank would. And I'm not even saying that Teofimo washes Tank. But I'm just saying, like, Teofimo would put that at risk, where I don't think Abdul Wahid would.
Yeah. I'm with you on that 100%. No, I mean, looking at this fight here with Ortiz and Lopez, Ortiz does have the one loss, which was against Lomachenko.
Oh, my bad.
Um,
Yeah,
and then
you're
he had a draw with Joseph Adorno. And Joseph Adorno, don't get me wrong, the guy that's a tough ass fighter too. Joseph
no,
Adorno.
he was a protege, all that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. And when they had that draw, he was at the height of that too. So Jermaine Ortiz, and I mean, for more or less, if you've seen him fight, you know what he has to offer. Jermaine Ortiz isn't a pushover at all, and as you mentioned, there's probably a lot of people who are picking him to win, and rightfully so. I don't think it's 50-50, but I don't think he's out of the question completely. I think he's got a fair shot, and it's in his neck of the woods, sort of out there up in the Northeast. But of course, I'm locking in with Teofimo. I'm excited to see him back in the ring. Once you have one of the top dogs, and Teofimo is that guy right now.
Oh, Teofimo is probably, I don't know how old he is. What is he, 25, if that? And
yeah,
to me,
26.
Okay, he's 26, and to me, if he retires right now and this fight doesn't even happen on Thursday, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that's where Teofimo's at with me, right? Like, he's basically undisputed in two-weight divisions, right? Like, he unified, 135?
Yeah.
With the Lomachenko win, and then he goes up to 140 and beats the undisputed champion and Josh Taylor. Did Josh Taylor dirty. So, yeah, I think Teofimo is at that level. And I'm looking forward to his fight just because I do think he's, that level fighter.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited that it is on a Thursday. Again, it'll be on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
So that's
there's Hybrid. What up, Hybrid? Appreciate you turning in. He hates that the fight is on a Thursday. I understand that, but they're in Vegas, and this week is filled up with the Super Bowl. So
yeah, I forget. Yeah,
they had to get in when they could get in, and I'm sure. I think it's good for boxing because when that fight's happening, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of celebrities in attendance. Yeah.
And the good thing too, well, here's the difference. So we talk about missing HBO and Showtime, which we all do. We always will. But the beauty of having ESPN, not just putting on shows, but putting on shows at this level, is it's so beneficial because they're able to pivot whenever they need to, such as right now, because this ain't the first time they've done a midweek show, and it's their own platform. They can do what they want to do, really. And they're putting on world title fights. It was rare back in the day that we would get an ESPN Friday Night Fights title fight. That was like a treat. It really felt special when a championship fight was on ESPN. Now it's more regular, and that is kind of a plus that ESPN is still around in the absence of HBO and Showtime, and able to do something like this on network TV still.
Yeah,
midweek.
And Hybrid, I would ask you. Are you going to go spoiler free, or are you going to be checking your phone for the updates? What do you do, Felix? Because I know there's times life comes up, you can't watch a fight live. Do you go off the grid until you can watch it, or you don't care? You just get the updates.
It depends. It depends on how bad I want to watch the fight. If it's a fight that I really want to see and I can't watch it live, I will definitely go off the grid. I'll mute everything. I'll mute the team chat, because if you don't want spoilers, the ITR staff chat will end that for you instantly. So I have to mute everything, all notifications, all socials. Probably have to put my phone on do not disturb, because people will text me, "Oh, did you see that knockout?" Or, man, Smith just got laid out. Yeah. And then it'll be like the most random person that you don't expect to message you too.
Always.
Yeah, it's always like somebody like, thank you. Yeah, no, I didn't see the knockout. I'm glad you told me. Thank you so much. But yeah, so I go off the grid completely. But for the most part, I just kind of, nowadays I try to stay in tune. If I'm on the road, like this past month, I wasn't able to watch any of the fights. All I could do was pay attention to the updates that you guys gave me. So thankfully, none of those fights were ones that I was like trying to really see.
I feel you.
hybrid. I'm not disciplined enough to go off the grid. I feel you. That's what happens a lot of times too. I try to do it, especially like tonight. We're doing the boxing shop. I'll go back and watch Monday Night Raw, but a lot of times my phone will be lighting up if something crazy is going on during the show. Same thing. Do not disturb until until after I watch it. No social media till after I watch it. Otherwise, it will get spoiled for me.
Yeah. So I guess we're about done, right? But I do hope Teofimo puts an impressive performance on, and I'm really curious to see what he does post fight. Right?
Yeah,
because he's calling out Crawford. Now Crawford, there's rumors he gets that Canelo fight. So you can't blame Crawford for doing that. But I really feel like Teofimo was about legacy, which I think you got to appreciate. So if he were to win against Jermaine Ortiz, that's impressive. If he was to win, in a stellar performance, I think that puts him. I really think he's at the top of 140, honestly, but he's just going to be able to call his shots.
Yeah, I'm with you. We'll see. That's what I'm looking forward to because I think he does beat Ortiz. But I'm curious to see what he says in that post-fight interview because it's always entertaining too. He's good on the mic.
Yeah.
Also on the undercard, I'm going to touch on him. Keyshawn Davis, Jose Pedraza. That should be entertaining and fun. Pedraza, that's a tough cookie, man. You don't just walk over him, and this will be the fight that tells us what Keyshawn's all about.
Yeah, that's your traditional, almost crossroads fight, right? Like,
yeah.
All right, Keyshawn, where are you going to go? Like, we've seen where Pedraza can go, what Pedraza can do. Now, Keyshawn, what are you going to do? Like, if he blows Pedraza out, then I think we gotta put him up there in these major fights that we want to see.
And the thing with Pedraza too, let's be clear, he hasn't won a fight since 2021. He did have a good fight with Richard Comey in 2022, which I thought was maybe a win for him, but it was a draw. But he's had 2 losses and a draw, so he hasn't won, but he's also not completely washed. And again, he knows how to get to the top of the mountain. So it's a good test for Keyshawn. I think all that experience in there is going to be a good test for him.
Well, Felix, we talked about this at the beginning of the program. Like Pedraza's in that spot where he's a good name
for BKFC.
Hey, Pedraza, go to BKFC, bro. You'll be the man.
He is.
But that's where we're at, right? Like a lot of people have beaten Pedraza, but now it's just like, how impressively can I beat Pedraza? And I think that's where Keyshawn Davis is at.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is kind of Jose's last shot, last hurrah. This kind of reminds me of like when Jesse James Leija fought Hector Camacho Jr. People were writing off Jesse James Leija already. He's old. It's a wrap for him. Hector Camacho Jr. is using him as, the way up. Same thing. But Jesse James Leija added a few more years to his career by making Hector Camacho Jr. quit, more or less. So Pedraza's right there. Which way is he going to go? We'll see. And I'm curious to see where Keyshawn Davis goes because he does a lot of calling out people. And I think a lot of boxing fans don't really. I think we take him serious. We're serious in the fact that he's calling these people out, but we don't view him as a serious threat just yet. So with Pedraza, depending on how he wins, maybe that perception will change.
I think he can get some momentum going, right? Obviously, when he failed the drug test, which is kind of like, come on, man, because what he failed for, and it's only illegal in Texas, it would have been legal in Nevada.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that was a momentum killer. This fight should have happened a couple months ago. But, hey, if he can get that momentum going, I'm all for it, right? More big names in the sport is a good thing.
Yeah, without a doubt. So we'll see. I'm excited because I'm hoping that him and Frank Martin will fight one day. That's a good fight that I want to see happen.
Yeah.
Also, Abdullah Mason, George Acosta, Charlie Sheehy, Javier Martinez, Alan Garcia, Antonio Zepeda, and Art Barrera Jr. all rounding out this top-ranked undercard. And if you notice, only a couple names on there were the usual suspects. You know, with George Acosta, Abdullah Mason, Charlie Sheehy. Top Rank is getting into their next batch of, you know,
yeah.
they load their
It would usually be Torres, Vargas, Davis. I guess Davis is stepping it up, but yeah.
Henry LeBron will be on there somewhere. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of those same guys, but hey, it's not happening this time. So they're starting to rotate, have a bigger roster. You know, I'm rocking with that a little bit there.
Yeah.
Also on the undercard. No,
there's that question though, Felix. Just to confirm, Abdullah Mason is on the card, correct?
Yep, Abdullah Mason is on the card, and he's also fighting an undefeated guy named Benjamin Gurmit. So tune in for that, because I think that's opening up the televised portion of the telecast, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it'll be on ESPN Plus, so you'll be able to see it. But yeah, Abdullah Mason, that should probably be the fight of the night, the most evenly matched fight, because they're both undefeated, and it's the only undefeated match fighter there is on that show. So hey, and we're only 3 days away from it too.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too, Hybrid. Just call out sick, man. I don't know what you do for a living, but hey, if you've got the vacation time and you won't get in trouble, just call out. I've done it before. I was working a retail job. Wasn't my main job. I was working a retail job one time, and WrestleMania was happening that weekend. You know what I did? Guys, I ain't going to make it. Got to do what you got to do, bro. Call out Hybrid.
Hey, can we do that then? Are we done?
Yeah, you're definitely we're it's a wrap.
Yo,
we talked about everything.
hey,
boxing, yeah.
Why?
I know what you're gonna ask me.
Why? Why is everybody hating on The Rock versus Roman Reigns, bro?
It's
and are you? Because I got a lot to say about this.
I'm not hating on him. Roman Reigns and The Rock is absolutely the biggest fight that could be made, or the biggest match to be made in wrestling. Roman Reigns and The Rock. That's the dream fight.
But what's the problem then, man? Why are all these wrestling guys? I was gonna say nerds, but I'll say nerds. Why are all these wrestling nerds hating on the biggest match possible for WrestleMania?
The problem is that Cody Rhodes, he won the Rumble last year. He went to WrestleMania. He lost. He dusted himself off.
Who did he lose against? Who did he lose against?
Roman Reigns.
Oh, so we've already seen it. Okay, proceed.
He dusts himself off. He wins the Rumble again this year. We all think he's fighting Roman Reigns, but now The Rock, who is a board member to TKO, which owns WWE, interjects himself and takes Cody Rhodes' spot that he's earned and is now going to be in the headline for main event of WrestleMania. So we think. We don't know yet what's going to happen, but that's what it seems like is going to happen.
So you're one of these guys chanting Rocky sucks.
No, I'm not.
Sending The Rock death threats, sending his daughter death threats. That's you?
I'm definitely not. I will say I felt bad for Cody because when he's leaving, and again, this is a scripted sport, but the emotions and everything else is real. He worked his ass off for the past year being the face of WWE. The stuff that he does off TV, all the work he does for the company, he's earned it. And you could see the emotion in his face when he's leaving the ring as The Rock is there taking his shine. Like, that's what he's worked on. And here comes Dwayne Johnson and just took it all away from him. It was pretty I felt for him, but I'm not mad at the match. I'm all for The Rock and Roman. I feel like it needs to happen no matter what.
So as a casual wrestling fan, right? I'm a casual, right? Like I'm gonna tie this into boxing somehow. But as a casual wrestling fan, Cody Rhodes, all I know about you, bro, is that you're related to Goldust. And if you know Goldust, then I don't care. Like that's your biggest accomplishment to me. So Cody Rhodes, I don't care about you, bro. So get out of here. Now to tie this into boxing. We already seen that fight, right? Like, I don't want to see Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence again. Like, right. if Terrence Crawford has a shot at Canelo, that's the biggest fight. That's going to get everybody. That's going to get casuals, whatever. Even if it's a mismatch, whatever. That's the biggest fight. I'm not on here saying no, he has to fight Errol Spence again. Wrestling fans, that's what you guys are doing. We already seen that. We got to move on. We got to move on, right? And, if it's a hardcore wrestling fan, that'd be like, Terrence Crawford, you shouldn't fight Canelo. You should fight Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis, I don't care about you. Like, maybe you're going to turn out to be great, whatever. But right now, you got to go for the biggest fight possible, especially on the biggest platform, arguably in sports, right? Like outside of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't beat that. That's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania season. Like, it makes sense to me, 100%.
Yeah, bro. If I catch you chanting Rocky sucks, or if I catch you tweeting, bro, we're gonna have problems.
Well, you might see that anyway because I'm a Roman Reigns fan. So just know it's coming from that side, not the because I'm a Cody supporter, which I am still. But Roman is that guy, and he's gonna wash the Rock at WrestleMania.
Oh my, he ain't. But look, I'm gonna watch if Roman fights the Rock. If I want to see Cody fight Roman, I could pull that up on YouTube, I'm sure. So I don't know why all these dudes are going in on my boy, The Rock.
It's crazy to me. It is crazy to me because the entire time, these past few years, Roman's been the champion, and the whole thing is that he's the guy. He's the top guy. His family legacy. He's the guy that's changing it all, evolving it. The Rock is a part of that legacy, and here he is now. Finally, it's the dream match that we've all been waiting for. So I'm all for it, man.
We watched the Young Rock show, and we watched the scene where he's telling his little cousin, "Oh, we can't fight. That's The Rock and Roman Reigns. We can't fight. A fight between us has to be at WrestleMania." Now it's gonna happen, and now all of you, Felix, I'm grouping you in, are saying, "No, we're protesting. We're doing that." Like, come on, man.
It don't make sense. I mean, you're never gonna keep everybody happy. That's for damn sure, though. No, those wrestling fans are not happy. But I will definitely say though, I felt bad for Cody. It was sad to see him walking away after that, but I'm all for it, bro. I'm all for The Rock and Roman. Like, as soon as they drop some merch, count me in. And then also Thursday going down in Vegas, same night as the Teofimo fight, they're having a press conference for that match and that event. At some point during the day, Vegas this week is going to be live.
They're taking advantage of that. So, Felix,
yes,
you're fine with Rock versus Roman, but what would you say? What would you say, hardcore wrestling fans? What is the percentage that's for it or against it?
It's I want to say it's probably 70-30 right now. Hardcore against it, yeah. It's crazy, yeah. I think the 30% understand the business as much like I do. I understand the business, and the metaphor you made too is beautiful. Do you want to see Crawford fight Canelo, or do you want to see him fight Boots? Boots has earned his way to that challenge, and not even that, because Cody fought him last year and lost. So
that's why I'm like, I tried to say Errol because that'd be the rematch, but then like hardcore Boots. But like,
still Canelo's the one you want to see. You want to see the biggest one get made,
and like I could step back and be like, maybe, Canelo Benavidez is the fight I want to see, right? Yeah. As a hardcore fan, but I can't be mad at Terrence Crawford Canelo. Like, that's an event. That's everybody tuned in.
Yep.
So I didn't know if like wrestling fans were like, no, we're just gonna gather together to see if we could change this. But
they definitely are trying to. But the thing is too is they got so crazy on the internet that Triple H even put out something that said just enjoy wrestling. And that's the problem, is like, people, when they watch a TV show, they binge watch the entire show. You can't binge watch wrestling because it's never ended. You can binge watch an old period and no time period, but it's still every week there's new storylines. It evolves every week, every month, every year it evolves. So why do we want everybody wants to know what happens at WrestleMania right now when they're barely announcing it. WrestleMania is not till the end of March or April. So let it just play out. Let the story play out. I'm sure
better play out, Felix. At this point in my life, I'm a casual wrestling fan. I watch the Royal Rumble. I watch WrestleMania. I'll probably watch SummerSlam. Give me what I want to see, bro. And I don't want to see Boots Ennis.
Yeah. So is Cody Rhodes officially Boots Ennis?
Cody Rhodes is Boots Ennis, bro. I understand you're good. I understand you have the potential to be this, that. I don't want to see that right now. And WrestleMania, April something?
Yeah.
I better see Roman Reigns versus The Rock. And if I don't, I'm going at all you wrestling fans.
And that really is. It honestly is. You'd be dumb to not make that. The Rock, as busy as he is with his career, the timing is right. Why would you pass it up? So yeah, I'm with you on that too. That's what I want to see. I'm still debating on if I wanted to go out there for that. I was on the fence. This one is pushing me over the fence to try to find my way to Philadelphia. And WrestleMania is a 2-night event. Normally, I'm like, yeah, I want to be there for everything. I would go just to be there for night 2 because this is going to be the night 2 main event.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like people I talk to, people that don't watch wrestling, they'll watch that night.
Oh yeah. So, you're gonna bring so many people back with just that match alone. Yeah,
bro, even when they were in the ring together, right? Like I've seen the clip, and when the music or if you smell, like when that hits, bro, that pop is unmatched.
Right.
So even if you deserve it, Cody, Boots, Cody. Hey, I feel for you, but like business is business, and this is what we want to see as a casual.
And that's a moment. So like think about this in like boxing, and this is the one thing that other sports will never experience and know. The Rock and Roman were literally just in the ring. Not one of them said a word or laid a finger on each other, but the crowd was just intense, just cheering, yelling. You have a crowd of thousands and thousands of people yelling, "Holy shit!" You don't get that at any other sporting event ever. When Shane Mosley got in the ring to confront Floyd Mayweather, that one time when they went at it, nobody was in there shouting, "Holy shit."
Bro, and honestly, that's kind of like what bugged me too, is that, when that happened, there's cameras all over the place. The pop for that, it's crazy. It wasn't until afterwards that everybody wants to complain.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, oh, so you guys are just complaining to try to change something. Because the atmosphere and the pop when that was going on in real time, unmatched. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And that was a huge moment. I think it's probably, I'm going to look it up right now on YouTube, because I'm pretty sure that clip has like one of their highest rated clips of all time.
I think but I saw that. Oh, it has the most dislikes, whatever.
Oh yeah, that too. I did see that they got a overwhelming amount of dislikes on that. But it is what it is. Yeah. Haters are going to be haters. It's been viewed 3.2 million views, and it was only 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Nuts. And think of that. Those are the kind of numbers they're going to bring in for WrestleMania. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have happened with Cody winning the Rumble and facing him. It's the right thing to do, but not really the right thing to do. But yeah.
It's the right thing to do.
Cody is Dusty's son, Michelle. But I think that definitely ends it out. We don't have any other fights this week. We do have the Super Bowl. I don't follow football at all, so you got to fill me in. Who are we betting on, Ray?
No, we got the Chiefs, Niners. I'm going Niners. I was going Niners from day one. I was going Niners every day that I can remember. But it'll be a good one, bro.
You know why I'm rocking with the 49ers too? Because Roman Reigns picked them as well.
I saw that on ESPN.
Yeah. So whatever the tribal chief, take that from a wrestling fan. Whatever the tribal chief does, wrestling fans follow.
Let's do it.
That's it, yo. We'll be back next week. I don't know if they're going to do a show Friday. They might. It was fun being back with you guys. And next time we'll have better notes because we literally took the entire month off. I didn't even watch any boxing, to be completely honest.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Drop a like or whatever. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and share it with your friends. Peace, y'all.
Peace.